Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about a template tag which will be used in our web components and what are the advantages of using a template tag and how we can embed the template tag in our web component. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. So here I have created a component called as card component and we are passing some inner HTML and that inner HTML will be rendered on our UI whenever the user clicks on the show web component. So let me go here and show you a demo, zoom it, and whenever we are clicking on the show web component, a card is viewed, and whenever I'm clicking on it will be calling the lifecycle hooks, and we have discussed about that life cycles previously. Now what I want to explain you is here, instead of using all these buttons, let me remove all these buttons and let me use the component, the web component directly like this. And inside this we are passing a error message as a HTML content, and we are passing some width, height and radius and the padding along with the border to this. And let me go here, reload, and you can see this particular card with particular error message. So if you see this error message, we are passing in a HTML content, and this HTML content will be rendered in our JS by using inner HTML. But now what I want to explain is this paragraph may be reused as a normal DOM if we are writing it out of the card. That means I can write even here, and also I can pass the same template inside. So how we can do that? By using a template tag. Now let's understand what is a template tag. Let me use this template tag, and inside this template tag I am pasting this paragraph. So let me save this, go here and reload. If you see, nothing is displayed on your UI. That means after the card we don't have any error message. But if you see here, we have a template tag. Inside that template tag we have a paragraph tag. So if you go and inspect this, you can see that particular template tag in your DOM. So let me go here and click here. This is my card, and if you see, this is my template, and inside this template we have something like a paragraph. But why it is not visible? So here the concept of template is a virtual element. Until unless we call the template, somehow it will not display. That means you can use this template anywhere, and whenever you are calling it, it will try to display in your HTML content. So what I can do is just I'll add one ID to this template. So let me give message underscore template. This is my message template. Let me save this and go to the index.js, and if you observe, we are using this template on the document itself. So I can use this, or I can fetch this template by using document.getElementById. Now instead of using inner HTML, let me remove this particular content, and what I will do is, already we have created a div. Inside that div I want to append that particular template. So let's get the template first. Const template is equal to document.getElementById of what is my ID I have passed for that template. This is my ID. Let me copy this and pass here. So I'll get this message template, and if you want to get the content inside that template, we can use template.content. Let me show you that. Now already we have a div, and for this div I want to append a child with this template, but don't assign the template directly. Instead, get the content from it and then assign to our div. So let me go here and reload. Now you can see the error message as usual. And if you want to use this template anywhere again and again, you can reuse the template content anywhere in your either a DOM, that means a real DOM, or inside a web component. So if you open this web component, a shadow root is created, and inside this root you have a div, and inside that we have a paragraph. This paragraph, actually speaking, we are not writing inside our web component. We are writing outside of the web component, and we are trying to access inside our web component and rendering our content. So even this can be done by using a dynamic content. For example, this ID I am fixing here. So I am trying to get that particular ID, and JS, whatever I wrote the logic here, it is tightly coupled with this particular ID. For example, if the person I am giving this template or the JS file, then he has to use the same ID. So I don't want to make like that. I want to make it a user friendly as well as isolated web component. So for that sake, what I will do is just I'll add one more attribute called as message id is equal to, I'll pass this id here, and instead of using directly or hard coded value of this message template, what I will do is just I'll get the value. So this dot get attribute of, what is my attribute? My attribute is message id. So let me copy this message id and pass to it. So whatever the template content which is available with this message id, that will be rendered in your DOM. So let me go here and reload. It works the same way, but this time we are not hard coding the id. Now it is user friendly, or the person who is utilizing this particular web component, he can write his own id and just pass that id. We can show that particular content in our card or a web component. So this is how we can make it a dynamic id creation and accessing the template. And also there is one more problem which we can see here. So for example, I have this id and I'm writing one style tag, style, and also I'll try to write something like paragraph with color and red. So let me save this and go back and reload. If you see here, we got error message here. Now that error message is having a red color, and if you open your card, you can see that particular content here inside your div, and this div contains the style as well as error message. So this is absolutely fine, but we should not do in this way. Why? Because, for example, if you are using this way, the problem would be, if you are reusing this particular template anywhere, then this cannot be used properly. Example, I have one more web component and let me use here, and I'm passing the same message id. Let me save this and go back, reload. So you got only one error message. Why you are getting only one error message? That's a big question which we are seeing now. Here the problem is, once the template is rendered on your UI, it is not getting recreated. That means you are using the template only once. Why? Because the template will have only one reference. That reference is pointing to the top one. So that is the reason you are getting this problem. And also you can make some changes like this, 500 and 400 pixel. Let me save this so that you will be getting a difference between these two, and try to reload. Now you didn't got the ID, as well as if you see here, you are getting a type error, can't read the properties of null. That means the second time whenever we are passing, it is trying to access a null value. Why? Because whenever you are having a null value and you are trying to get the content from it, you cannot get that. Why? Because it is already rendered in your UI. To avoid this problem, we have something like clone node of true. What we will do is, just we will not use the real template. Instead we will clone as a separate element and we will append to our child. Let me go back and reload. Now the problem has been resolved. Let me clear it off and reload again. So you are getting something like property of null. Why we are getting this? We'll check it. So even after rendering, why we are getting this error? Let's understand this particular context now. So here we are loading this on the constructor itself. That means our node itself, it's not ready and we are trying to append the child. So don't do this. Once we know that component has been loaded, then do the other stuff. So here what I am doing is, I am using inside the connected callback. Whenever the component is ready to connect with our HTML content, then I am doing remaining operation. Let me save this, go back and let me reload. If you see here, we didn't got any error this time. Why? Because whenever we are trying to get the element by id inside the constructor, first thing is my component is not connected with the web component. That means the original document real DOM is not connected with the web component yet inside the constructor. But when it comes to connected callback, then it will intimate us, okay, our web component is already mingled and connected with our document. Now you can do whatever the operation you want. Even I can give you the control for get element by id. So that is the reason now it is not showing any problem in our console. Let me clear it off and reload. So it is working as expected. But remember this one method called as clone node. Clone node is a method which will help you to create a replica of that particular element with different references, and that new reference will be connected to your append a child, and that will be shown on your UI, so that your template will not be restricted only for one particular component. It can be used anywhere. And also, if you want to learn a backend development, I'll provide a link in the description that is regarding the Medium blog. Please check out the link. If you like the explanation in that blog, please follow, like, and share to the other folks. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.